Why is it so goddamn hard to get your wife to work on the marriage? You said till death do us part, but now she's gone completely cold and has given up on you and on the marriage. And it's really easy to start telling yourself stories about why she's refusing to work in the marriage. You'll start saying things like, she's got too much trauma from her past. Her evil friends are in her ear and influencing her. Or, she's really stubborn. Once she makes her mind up, there's no way back. I'm sorry guys, but this is all total bullshit. There's only one reason your wife is refusing to work on the marriage, and it's not because of her trauma or her friends or social media. And once you know it, it will be the key to getting her to check back in. Now make sure to stick around for this full video where I'm going to share with you a 4-step proven process that all my clients have applied to save their marriage. Now with all that being said, let's dive right in. First, let's travel back 100,000 years to meet caveman Grok. He was celebrated in his town because he had a gift for predicting weather, which was particularly useful because his community and town was prone to flash floods. So all the tribe relied on him to see the weather, to predict the weather, so that they could get to higher ground when a flash flood was going to come. Now, on a particularly sunny day in the dry season, the clouds started to gather, big dark clouds, and the community started to get worried. So they came to Grok and said, hey, look at those clouds. They look similar to the ones that we usually get. Do we need to get to higher ground? He looked at them and he calmed them all down and said, hey, don't worry. It's the dry season. In all my time and in all our ancestors' time, there has never been a flash flood during the dry season. Don't worry, go to bed, everything will be fine. So the community settled down in the evening, relaxed and fell asleep. Well, guess what happened? You're right. A flash flood came roaring down the mountains and wiped out the whole community, including Grok. So, what was the fatal error that caveman Grok made? It's called confirmation bias. Grok was seeking and processing information that confirmed and supported his pre-existing beliefs, i.e., that flash floods never happen in the dry season, while at the same time downplaying and ignoring information that was contradicting his beliefs. So those clouds were dark and they looked exactly like those clouds that bring flash floods, but he was ignoring them. So you can see this as a type of selective thinking, and it's something that we've developed over time because it helps us make decisions quickly. But as you can see in Grok's situation, it can be fatal. And the number one reason why your wife is refusing to work on the marriage is because of confirmation bias. Your wife knows you really well because you've been together for years and she's created a picture of you, so a belief about who you are. So she's telling herself that you're angry or maybe emotionally unavailable, or that you're controlling and that you'll never change. So even though she's getting new information about how you're showing up, she's ignoring it. Her confirmation of bias is getting her to ignore the new information about how you're showing up for the kid, showing up for her, paying more attention. She's ignoring it because it doesn't fit her belief. Now, what makes this even more difficult with the confirmation bias is there's also negativity bias, which is a psychological phenomenon where we weight negative experience more. We'll put more attention and focus on negative experiences. So when you have an altercation with your wife or you have a fight, even though you've maybe shown up and you've done a lot of positive work with her and you feel like you're making progress, then one little slip, she's just going to hyper focus on that event, and it's going to confirm to her that it was the right decision to check out of the marriage or to separate or to go for the divorce. So it's really difficult to overcome the confirmation bias and the negativity bias. But by following the line method that all my clients have applied to save the marriage, your wife will soon start to question her own beliefs and open up to new information. Now, what's really important here is you need to follow each step in the right order. Don't jump a step or don't skip a step, otherwise this won't work for you. Step number 1, let go. You got to stop fighting her and trying to convince her that you're changed and convince her that she needs to check back into the marriage. It's like Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the more that you push on your wife and try to get her to check back in, the more she pulls away. It's not the right way to go about it. Stop doing that. Number 2, internal reflection. You need to take some time to think about where did things go wrong in your marriage. This didn't just happen overnight, right? It's been a slow, long downward spiral. You need to understand the root problem in your marriage that got her to check out so that you can eradicate it and to get her to check back in and to create this new unbreakable marriage. Now, I understand this isn't the easiest thing to do, so I've created a free masterclass which you can enroll in today. You can find the link below, which is going to give you the awareness around where you went wrong and how to reconcile with your wife. Check out the link below. Now on to number 3, open-mindedness. Now you don't want to make the same fatal mistake as Grok the caveman made, right? And this is unfortunately the biggest mistake that I see most men make, is they rely on their own confirmation bias. So they've created a belief like, I've tried everything and nothing works, or she's just too closed off, or she's just really stubborn and there's no way back. This is confirmation bias that's going to affect how you're showing up in the relationship. So when you see her, you're going to be sheepish, you'll feel like you're walking on eggshells, and it's going to have a big impact on your ability to reconcile. You need to get rid of that, open up your mind and be open up to new information and rely on a proven process for saving your marriage rather than winging it. Step number 4, narrative shift. Up until this point, you've been telling your wife you're going to fight for the marriage no matter what. You're not giving up. You don't believe in divorce. And this doesn't help because, like we discussed before, this makes her just pull away further away from you. You need to change the narrative. So you need to let her know that you're focusing on yourself, that you're investing in yourself to work on your issues so that you can show up as the best person possible, that you understand all the problems that were there in the marriage, you understand that she wants to separate or divorce, and you're not going to fight her on it. You're focusing on you to become the best possible version you can become no matter what happens. And when you do this, the penny drops. She goes, oh my God, Dave's working on himself no matter what. He's not trying to force his reconciliation. And when you detach from her and fully focus on yourself, this is where the magic happens. She starts to get curious and open up because she wants to know what's going on with you. So now you understand all about the confirmation bias. You need to watch this next video on how to get her to see your change immediately.